You're looking at investing in a real estate syndication, but what do all the numbers on the page mean? How can you decide whether or not the investment is a good fit for you? Well, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 3 key metrics you must look at and consider when you're looking at a real estate syndication to make sure you are making the most educated decision possible. So we've got number 1, 2, and 3. These are the 3 metrics you must look at when analyzing a real estate syndication. And the first one is all about money in the bank. How much money is your investment earning you in a finite period of time, generally a year? So we're talking annual numbers at this point. What this is called is it's called cash on cash return. Now, sometimes what you'll see on the page, if you're looking at the pro forma, is COC. What this does is it shows you how much money is your investment earning you. For example, it'll say a cash on cash year 1, maybe it's 6%. Now, what does this mean? Well, if you invested, let's say $100,000 in the deal and you're earning a 6% return in year 1, that means your investment is yielding you at the end of year 1, $6,000. And, depending on the type of deal, the value add strategy, if it's a core plus, whatever type of deal is, you're going to see the cash on cash return vary. Oftentimes, you're going to see that between 6% and 12%. And with deals, as the strategy goes into play and the cash flow improves, you're going to generally see the cash on cash return increase each and every year. So for example, hypothetically, we could say cash on cash return in year 1 is 6%, and maybe that escalates up to 11% in year 5. So an 11% cash on cash return with a $100,000 investment is obviously $11,000. This is cash on cash return. You want to use cash on cash return to really understand, well, how much money is your investment making you each and every year in that finite period. Now let's move on to number 2, and it's all about growing your capital, growing your investment. Show me the money. Cash on cash return tells us, well, how much money is our investment making us each and every year? Well, number 2 is, hey, how much has my invested capital grown over the life of the investment? And this is called an equity multiple. And the equity multiple is a very simple yet very effective way of measuring and tracking how much your invested capital is growing. Now, what you'll see on the page when you're looking at the pro forma, you'll see the line and I'll say equity multiple, multiple EM. It doesn't matter how they express it, but you're going to see a number with an X at the end. So it could say equity multiple 2X, or it could say equity multiple 1.5x or 3x or 1.95x, whatever that is. And remember, with cash on cash return, we're looking at annual numbers. So you'll see year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we have a 5-year hold with equity multiple, we look at it from a bird's eye view, looking at the entire deal in one number here expressed as the equity multiple. We're not looking at it on an annual basis. So for the entire deal, year 1 to 5, if it's a 5-year hold, we're going to see the equity multiple as a 2x, 1.5x. Now a 2x means you've doubled your money. So basically, if you invest $100,000 at a 2x multiple, well, you've just made yourself another $100,000. You've doubled your money. With a 1.5x, obviously you're adding another half to your invested capital. So if you invest $100,000 at a 1.5x, well, now you have $150,000 in your bank. So equity multiple, very, very simple, very straightforward. It's not complicated, and it gives you a really good idea. Well, hey, at the end of this investment, what am I looking at? Am I doubling my money, tripling my money, growing my money by half? Equity multiple tells you exactly what you need to know. And last but not least, we have a metric that is very, very important, but is often misunderstood by beginner investors. Cash on cash return is rather simple. Hey, I invest this much. What do I get back out of it? Equity multiple, how much is my money growing over the lifetime of the deal? With this one, we are taking into account the time value of money. How long is my money in the deal and when do I get it out? Because remember, $1 in your pocket today is worth far more than $1 10 years from now, or 5 years from now, or 6 months from now. So we have to take that into account when we're analyzing, well, hey, like, how hard is my money really working the deal? Because I want more valuable dollars back sooner rather than later. And this metric is called the internal rate of return. And oftentimes you'll see it written as IRR. Now, like I said, the internal rate of return, it acts kind of like the cash on cash return. Hey, what's the return on my money? But what it does is it really tells us, well, how hard is your money working in the deal and when do you get it back? Let's say you have two deals you're looking at. Everything's the same except when you get your money back. And with deal A, you get all of your money, all your returns at the end of the deal in year 5. With deal B, you get half of your returns back in year 2 and the other half in year 5. Which deal is more valuable? Well, deal B is, because you have more valuable dollars going into your pocket sooner. So how does that affect the IRR? Well, the IRR is going to be a lot higher for deal B because you have more valuable dollars coming back to you. Similar to the equity multiple, the IRR is looking at the deal as a whole. So not like cash on cash return where it's like you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. IRR, you're looking at the IRR for the entire deal. And you're often going to see a deal look like, a 14.3% IRR, or you'll see a 18.7% IRR, something like that. And IRR is a really important metric to focus on. How long is your money actually working in the deal? If you get your returns, your distributions back sooner, well, that's more valuable for you as an investor because not only is your money more valuable, but also there's opportunity cost. If your capital gets returned to you faster in a deal versus another one, well, now you can take that money and put it to work in yet another deal and compound it. So like I said, we've got number 1, cash on cash return. Really great, really straightforward. Hey, how much money is my investment making me every single year? What percentage am I earning on my money? Equity multiple, well, how much is my investment growing over the long-term life of the deal? And number 3, internal rate of return, IRR. Well, hey, how hard is my money working? Just like cash on cash, but how valuable are those dollars? Because when am I getting my money back out of the deal? And if you're interested in going more in depth in syndication returns, click on this video right here where I walk you through some real numbers of an actual deal so you can really figure out, well, how much money are you actually going to make?